on for my city, on for my city, put on for my city.
Stop immediately. Stop. You should delete that song.
No!
Just because I don't like that you have that song.
Why?
Because of how you just did it.
Of course it's the Kanye version.
Yeah, there's only one version.
Yeah. I hate hearing myself sing
that's
it. I'm
how
so
you
sorry.
sound. That's how you sounded singing.
I don't need to sing it. I can just blast it.
Yeah, and just nod your head. Yeah, that's a great hood anthem.
Chris has been re-listening to all of Kanye West's early catalog, and I realized his #1 artist on Spotify this year is going to be Kanye West, and I'm like, you can't share that.
Why can't he?
Not in this year. Not in 2025.
Listen, hey.
The artist formerly known. That's what they should have on Spotify.
Oh.
The artist formerly
Kanye
known.
before we found out
Ye.
he was
There's a Ye.
insane.
There's Birthday Party Ye, and there's Kanye. You know? I won't sing Put On for My City again.
Please never do it
But
again.
just know.
That you put on for
I
your
was
city?
blasting that on
You
my way
can't.
in
You
this
have to
morning.
blast it.
Yeah, you can. That's not a song you listen to
No,
quietly.
you have to blast it. You have to. Like that is of that Atlanta rap era. That might be the best song. It might be. Let me take that back. It might be my favorite song. I have to think about it a little bit more. But Jeezy around that time, you couldn't tell me anything about Jeezy. He was incredible. He's gonna save us all. The Recession, the album, I just listened to that album, start to finish. And it's still a banger. It's incredible. Listen to it while I clean my house up. While I was cleaning the toilet and washing dishes and et cetera, et cetera. Nothing like listening to drug dealing music while cleaning your house.
Et cetera.
Good stuff. But before the show last night, what did you get into?
Why can't I remember? Oh, I'm still teaching my husband a dance that we have to do for an Indian wedding coming up. So we learned the last 2 8 counts. We've now learned the entire dance.
Okay.
Now he must thrive in the dance. What did you do, CJ?
I had Sneak Fest.
Oh, I thought your tennis incident was yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was
You had a
between
busy afternoon.
Yeah, it was between shows. Yeah, I took a tumble on a serve. That was
So your
great.
tumble was before Sneak Fest?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I came in here and I knocked it out. Knocked the Sneak Fest out. And then we went and saw Kimberly Akimbo.
Kimberly Akimbo
So good
at the
stuff.
Orpheum. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
Theater Thursday. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, June 25th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, it is draft day. The Memphis Grizzlies on the clock at number 16. Pre-draft trades are in a frenzy around the NBA. Will the Grizzlies draft? Will the Grizzlies deal? We will get you all set up for it. Chip Williams, your favorite draft analyst, will be in the building to talk about the players he likes the most, both for the Grizzlies in the first round and the second round. Also, what should the Grizzlies do? We'll catch up with Chip. DeAngelo Williams will join us about 40 minutes in. As always, never know what we'll get into with DeAngelo Williams. We'll do some WNBA talk. Big news for the Indiana Fever yesterday. They also snapped their 2-game losing streak. Some WTF stories. It's a Wednesday. You know what we say. Happy Flag Day.
It's
Happy Flag Day. It's Flag Day in Maine. It's Flag Day in the NBA. Happy Flag Day.
Oh.
Oh. Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go. Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Tony Allen joining us. I believe Hey!
Young TA with a fresh chop. That boy sliced today, boy. You say that boy got the tape on the side. Okay, TA.
Hey, and I like how you blurred out your background so we can't see that Laquita this time.
Can't see the hole in the wall, TA.
Can't see the hole in the wall.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, ay. Let's have a little fun now. Ay. I wanna let it all out. Ay. That's what it's all about. Ay. Ay. 'Cause I deserve this feeling of having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy NBA Draft Day to all who celebrate. First round on a Wednesday, second round on a Thursday. The Oklahoma City Thunder barely have had time to celebrate their championship. They had their parade yesterday. The NBA never stops moving because Game 7 was on Sunday. And here 3 days later, it is draft day. Teams have been busy working the phones, their books to get pre-draft deals done. I went to sleep last night after Shams Charania told Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter not to go to sleep, implying that something crazy could happen overnight, like a Jaylen Brown trade perhaps. Nothing happened overnight. Nothing happened overnight. A lot happened yesterday. We'll see if a lot happens today. Our chat question of the day, if you are joining us live, what do you want the Grizzlies to do on draft pick? They have the number 16 pick tonight in the first round. And the early returns, 40% want them to take the best available player. 35% use the pick to trade for a vet. The other options, IDK and Kleiman we trust, or trade up for somebody. After doing extensive draft prep yesterday, CJ, I have fallen in love with people. I've fallen in love with people in this draft, and I'm prepared to be hurt, even though I stand on the side of, I would love if the pick could be used to get a veteran player, could turn in to someone of more experience, because do we really need another rookie on this Memphis Grizzlies team? But that's the magic of the draft, because you see potential and you fall in love. I love this Noah Nsenge guy who came over from France. He was playing on a team in Germany. He left his team in the middle of a championship, which I don't love, but he came to the draft, implies he thinks that he could be taken tonight. He's going to be in the green room, be in the room where it happens. I love Cedric Coward, like every other Grizzlies fan has fallen in love with him, from his story from D3 to Eastern Washington to Washington State. That has me written all over it. I love Neek Clifford. This is what we do every year. And we will have the Grind City Media Draft Show tonight, 7 o'clock. And we'll be on until the end of the first round. We're going to talk about some of the options for the Grizzlies with that number 16 pick when Chip Williams joins us in the next segment. But there was a lot of craziness that happened yesterday. So to summarize all that occurred in the day leading up to the draft, because it has been a very active time period going into this draft, Boston saved more money. Kristaps Porzingis is now headed to the Atlanta Hawks in a 3-team trade that netted Boston George Niang and a second-round pick. Porzingis to Atlanta. The Nets got Terrence Mann and the Hawks' number 22 pick in this year's draft. The Brooklyn Nets have 5 first-round picks tonight. 5. What do you do with 5 first-round picks?
Take good players.
Feels redundant.
Take
Of
good
course
players.
you take good players. But then what do you do with the good players you take?
Play them. I don't know what's going on in Brooklyn. The highlight of their season is what? Beating the Grizzlies twice?
Oh,
Like, it's
why
not-
you got to bring that back
It's
up?
not a whole
That was
lot
so
of
sad.
good feelings in Brooklyn
That
right
was
now,
a sad
correct?
time period.
So you go out there and you got to stockpile with some young talent, and you hope that the 5 where are their picks? You hope that the 5 you take, 2 of them are really, really good, and 1 of them is rotation worthy. Because just because you get picked doesn't mean you're gonna be good first round. Like
It doesn't work
It's
that
a numbers
way.
game. You need enough picks to be able to hit on some of them. Nobody hits on 100%, but if you've got 5 first round picks, you hit on 2 or 3 of them. Everybody will look back at this draft and it's like, oh yeah, it's a success. If you hit on 1.5 of them, everybody look back on this draft and be like, oh yeah, it was a success. So that's what you. Excuse me.
Are you choked up?
I'm choked up about the Brooklyn Nets. That's what you do.
You're just
Or
so sad that you're not going to be on a draft show tonight.
Listen.
CJ only
One
goes
tier.
to the draft shows when they're at Southland Casino.
Only at Southland.
That's his
After
rule.
that 1 year suspension I had. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I'll be watching
Yes.
you guys from the house. But yeah, no, I think that the Brooklyn Nets 5 picks. That's what
Who
you want
cares?
if you're a team like that. If you're a bad team, you want all of the first round picks you can get.
As many picks as
That's
possible.
possible. Maybe you trade
And
all 5.
then you throw those darts and you say, maybe one of these becomes the player of our future.
Trade all 5 of those picks and try and move up and take Cooper Flag. I guess I don't know.
That's the only. Well, Harper at 2 and Flag at 1. And then it feels like the draft kind of starts at 3. To go back to everything that was happening yesterday, with the Celtics moving on from Kristaps Porzingis, they now have saved close to $200 million in 48 hours between the combined salaries of getting rid of Porzingis and Drew Holiday, who they sent to Portland, and getting themselves under the second apron and avoiding the luxury tax associated with that. They have saved like $200 million in 2 days, which is just an absurd change which is what they were trying to do, right? Like that was the strategy of Boston, trying to essentially slash their budget in half, going from a $500 million team to a $240-ish million team. Along with that move, that all happens in Boston. New Orleans traded CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a second to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th pick in this year's draft. And then Kyrie Irving plans to decline his $43 million player option and sign a new 3-year contract worth $119 million in Dallas. Busy, 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 and more moves supposedly to come throughout the day. Of those, which
Beat me to
interests
it.
you the most?
The Kyrie thing.
Okay.
Kyrie taking, if I read this right, if I had an understanding correctly, Kyrie taking less money, right, to try and make things a bit easier on
Right.
that front office. Kyrie, he's not coming back till late next year at the
earliest late next year. I think there's a sliver of a window for him to come back next year.
Like
then.
next year is going to be a wash for the team for him to go out there and say, yeah, I want to be here. I'll take a bit of a pay cut to run it back with, because they also got Gafford signed, if
Right.
I remember correctly, earlier this week. So Kyrie is saying, I'll come back, run it back with Gafford, run it back with AD, run it back with Lively, run it back with the rest of the
and
Dallas
start
Mavericks.
anew with Cooper Flag.
Well, yeah.
It's
and
a good-
then,
I mean-
and then run it back with, they hadn't taken him yet, so I'll hold off on that.
Oh, come on.
Stranger things have happened in sports.
Oh, yeah, I
Stranger
forgot.
things
That's the
have
team
happened.
that traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
So,
So
like,
you're
if
right.
you're-
Why would I assume that Nico Harris at
It's
100% will do the most
It's been
normal thing?
real quiet up in Milwaukee. And so, like, I don't know if the Mavericks and the Bucks are in talks or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not reporting on anything because I'm not a damn reporter.
Who are
Don't
you?
find me. I'm just a goofy-ass producer in the Dragon Ball Z hat. But, like, that number 1 overall pick, if you dangle it in front of the Bucks, it's like, hey, listen, like, we've got this and we've got players that you could have now that would keep you in contention. Give us Giannis. Let's see what we can do. That number 1 pick has true value because everybody thinks Cooper Flag is going to be something super duper
Generational.
special.
And spatial.
Spatial,
on both
special.
sides of the ball.
Yeah.
All of the above. I think a part of Kyrie signing this extension symbolizes the excitement and belief in what the Mavs can be upon his return would also assume that there has been some sort of conversation that Jason Kidd will remain as head coach. Kyrie just seems really happy there, right? Like we've seen this in the past. What happened in Brooklyn, where it ultimately comes to a not exactly amicable ending, made you question what energy Kyrie Irving would bring into whatever team he ended up on. And in Dallas, it feels as if there's a stability there and a cohesive relationship between Kyrie and the Dallas Mavericks. So I found that interesting. I do think everything that Boston's doing is phenomenally interesting from the standpoint of, like, this is the NBA of the future. It's not of the future, it's of the now because of the new CBA. And as somebody who also has a champagne taste on a now beer budget, and I wouldn't call it a beer budget, it's more just like a fine bottle of wine budget because the Celtics are still a very expensive team. But to have to move off of 2 starters from your championship team 2 seasons ago, or potentially to have to move more because there is some juice around. Could they be dealing Jaylen Brown? Could they be dealing Derek White? I mean, this really sets a spotlight on this new CBA. And even with teams trying to avoid the second apron and the penalties that come along with it, from losing draft picks to not being able to take back salary in certain deals, you also have the repeater penalties in the first apron that are going to set in. That's essentially like, cool, you can spend like a rich person, but if you spend like a rich person, you're going to have to pay like one too. And the Celtics are a prime example of a team that has been above the tax 3 of the last 4 seasons, which is the rule that's in place. And so they'll be under this repeater penalty system. It's all to make the parity of the league of utmost importance, and it's worked thus far. We just saw our 7th different champion crowned in the last 7 years in the NBA, but there's something that just feels inherently odd about watching a team that just won a championship have to deconstruct for the sake of not becoming a second apron team or not becoming this overspending type team, even if they have the money that they want to spend.
But we knew they were going to have to do this.
Right.
We knew they were going to
have to do
this.
But now we're seeing it play out. It's
we knew
strange.
they were going to. But this is what it is. I guess, yes, you're right. It is strange. But we knew this was coming the second they grabbed Drew Holiday and Derek White and Kristaps Porzingis. Right?
The bell was going to toll.
Like,
for
we were
that
like,
group,
okay,
yes.
very clearly this window is 2 years max. Because that third year, when you have to start re-signing players, you're just not going to be able to do it. You're angry. You've got to be able to move them, and that's your window because you just can't afford it. And this is the thing everybody wanted to avoid. They wanted to avoid a team like the Celtics from being able to go out there and buy their way to a championship and just say, all right, we're not going to develop anybody. We're not going to identify any real talent around the league. We're just going to go out there and lure your best players from your small market, and we're going to bring them here, and that's how we're going to win championships. And so the prevention of that is why the Celtics have to break this thing up. But again, we saw this coming. It worked for them because they got a championship out of it. It absolutely worked for them. So if that's how you want to do it, do it. But once you go all in, understand you're going to have to completely tear this thing down and start all the way over from scratch in about 2 years, 3 years at the most. It worked for them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work everywhere. It didn't work in Phoenix. It didn't work for various reasons in Brooklyn. And you look up, and 2 years from bringing in all this talent, that the teams have to break it all the way down. The thing that the Celtics have found that is interesting to me and speaks to, you talked about Stevens yesterday, to his acumen as a general manager is, like, yeah, they're going to take a step back because you're just going to do so when you're trading away that type of production, that much production. They're not going to be awful.
They're not going to be awful, but they're not going to be a contender.
They're not. They're playoffs. They'll be in the playoffs.
Sure.
They'll be in the playoffs. They're not going to be a terrible bad team, right? Like it didn't work in Brooklyn, and dudes started leaving. They started letting dudes leave and shipping dudes out in Brooklyn and trading players. James Harden, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and it was clear. Oh, Brooklyn's not going to be good for a little bit. Brooklyn's not going to be good for a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's going to take Brooklyn a while to get back good. You don't have that with the Celtics. You have that with the Suns right now. Right. It's going to take the Suns a while to get back good. You're not going to have that with the Celtics. They are finding ways to not just shed salary, but get beyond competent players. Get good players back for what they want to do.
George Niang has been on a bajillion Eastern Conference teams at this point. We'll look at Anthony Simons, and we'll look what else they do.
And now, do they need to do more?
I don't know.
I don't think they do. I think you're good. Maybe move Derek White. I think you don't move Jaylen Brown. You don't move Jason Tatum.
If you move those guys, then you're really situating yourself far below the tax.
Yeah, keep Jason Tatum. Keep Jaylen Brown because you drafted them. Those are homegrown. Those are the faces of this era iteration of the Boston Celtics. You move on from Derek White, and you're now in business. Now you can do this all over again. The clock starts over for you.
I will be really curious because there's so much focus on how wide open the Eastern Conference will be with all of these injuries, and I do think we lean a little excessively heavy into that. But if you are a Celtics team that makes the playoffs, with this new post-Achilles return to play, like you look at Tatum, got surgery immediately. You look at Tyrese Halliburton, got surgery immediately. I don't know what that will mean for their window is there any world where they could come back in a postseason run? I don't think you do. As someone who came off an Achilles tear, I would be excessively careful, cautious, abundance of caution when it comes to coming back. But I will be interested to see like what the protocol is for those guys. And if you are a team that is able to make it into the playoffs, is there any world where they could come back? I know we're so conditioned to think that an Achilles tear, and rightfully so, means that you are out for a season and then some, and that probably is still the case. But medicine and rehabilitation and recovery continues to improve. I'm actually very intrigued by the Hawks. I love Kristaps Porzingis. I know he's constantly hurt or sick, and the illness that he dealt with last season remains a mystery to some degree. But to think about him, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Reese-Share, and Jalen Johnson, that moves me a little bit. Also from a Grizzlies perspective, I've seen a lot of people bring up what that could mean for the Clint Capella market. And if you were looking for a big on the cheaper side, might not be needed in Atlanta now, so perhaps Clint Capella is one of those guys the Grizzlies look at. I know when the move for New Orleans happened yesterday between the Pelicans and the Wizards, it kind of triggered this, if the Pelicans are moving off CJ McCollum, maybe they'd move off other guys like Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, and those are names that Grizzlies fans have been absolutely enamored by. I don't know. I almost feel like bringing in Jordan Poole symbolizes that the Pelicans are at least trying, so I'm not sure they are completely selling things off and assuming that they cannot win, period. But it'll be interesting to see. Chip Williams is going to join us on the other side. He'll have opinions on all of this. He is an excellent draft analyst. He has his big board up at Chip Williams Jr. on Twitter if you want to give it a look. He also put out a Grizzlies 2025 NBA draft guide this morning. We will catch up with Chip Williams on the other side about who he thinks the Grizzlies should take in tonight's draft. That's when we come back.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals Series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both of these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. One exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. I call him your favorite draft analyst. It is Chip Williams who joins us every draft season to break down his big board, what the Grizzlies should do. And perfect timing, Chip, because you just released your 2025 Memphis Grizzlies NBA draft guide.
I did.
How are you feeling on this draft morning?
I'm feeling good. I was trying to stretch my fingers out, see if they still work when I type on a computer, and they do. So I was able to, put an article together of just kind of a thought dump of, hey, here are 10 guys that I really like at 16. And, it's always tough when you're picking in the middle of the first round because you can read all the mocks and listen to all the intel, but you really don't know who's going to be there, right? So you have to cast a pretty wide net. So that's what I attempted to do here and had some fun with it, yeah.
Wide nets are fun, though, because it gives you a lot of options. Yep. But I will start with, from your perspective, in a perfect world, what do the Grizzlies do tonight? Do they use the 16th pick? Do they trade the 16th pick? What does it look like?
In a perfect world, I would love for someone like Colin Murray-Boyles to fall to them at 16.
Okay.
I had a tier of 4 guys that I said I'd be willing to trade up for any of these guys. It was Colin Murray-Boyles, Derek Queen, Carter Bryant, and Noah Osengwe. And if any of those 4 fell to 16, it'd be a home run for the Grizzlies. And like I said, once any of those names got to like 10, 11, 12, I'd make phone calls and just say, hey, are you interested in sliding back a couple spots? And, maybe we'll send you a protected first, something like that. So I think those guys are all really good. So any of the 4 falls, then home run pick at 16, in my opinion.
Colin Murray-Boyles is the guy everyone is calling Draymond Green without the antics. And to be fair, we don't know that he won't have the antics yet.
That's
but
right.
It's just the Draymond Green level defensive player. And from a prototype standpoint, and I'll do a throwback prototype because it's the old school version of this is what a Memphis Grizzlies player should be.
Yeah.
The kind of version of a player that so many times this past season, many people were left saying, God, if only we had a player like this. What do you see from his game that could translate so well for the Grizzlies or for whatever team who ends up taking him?
Yeah, he's, it's always hard comparing guys to these outliers like Draymond Green, right? We've just never really seen anyone like him before then, and we haven't really seen anyone like him since then. And I think Colin Murray-Boyles is probably the closest thing defensively. He's 6'6", he's got a massive 7-foot-plus wingspan. He's 240 pounds, so he's built very, very solidly, very sturdy. And he is just a savant-level reader of the game defensively. He blows up every action that an opposing offense is trying to run. The Ringer had a great thing where they called him the detonator, and I love that because he literally, no matter what you're doing, he's 2 steps ahead of you, and he's already blowing it up. So I love that. But then offensively, like, I think he'd fit really well with the Grizzlies too, because like you watch him play and like he doesn't shoot that well, but he's tough and he's long, and like some of the stuff he does reminds you of some Zach Randolph or some Julius Randle offensively. So, you know, I mean, if you end up getting Julius Randle on offense and Draymond Green on defense, you should probably take that guy number 1, right? So I'm not saying he's that, but like a play style comparison, right? And so I think, you know, the modern basketball, the way you want to play, his ability to guard 1 through 4, some 5s, like there's just a lot of stuff that lines up with what works in the NBA.
A lot of variables, like you said, can go into a pick at 16 because somebody who's high on one mock might end up falling, or somebody who's low gets taken early. But in terms of the range of players that you're consistently seeing in that 14 to 17 range, who are the players who most excite you that should be available for the Grizzlies in a normal situation?
Yeah, most definitely. A few guys. Number 1, off the top of my head, Adu Thiero from Arkansas. Longtime Memphis Tiger fans will remember that last name. His dad, Almame, played for John Calipari in the 2000s. And Adu is different from his dad. Remember his dad being a kind of a post player, big guy. Adu is 6'6 and a half, 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, and genuinely maybe the best vertical athlete in this class. He's devastating when he goes downhill. He's impossible to keep out of the paint. He had a 70 free throw rate, which, like, to put that in comparison, that's like what Zach Edey did at Purdue. Like, he just gets fouled every time he goes because guys cannot physically contain him. And then he's crazy playing passing lanes too. Like, he is so quick to read a skip pass, intercept it, and turn it into a quick dunk the other way. So he's fascinating. Obviously, a guy that I think has been reported worked out here is Cedric Coward from Washington State. Really fascinating story. He was at D3 a few years ago, ended up playing at Eastern Washington for 2 years, and then 6 games at Washington State before he had a season-ending shoulder surgery. So we just don't have a ton of like high major data points on Cedric Coward, but you watch him shoot and you're like, yeah, like if I was filming an instructional video, I'd probably show him Cedric Coward's shot. And like you watch him play defense, like, oh my gosh, he has a 7'2" wingspan. He's containing everything. Like, so you squint and you're like, this is a guy who can play in the playoffs if it all comes together. But like I mentioned, a little bit of a mystery box there just because he's played mostly against lower level competition. So definitely those two, you know, off the top of my head. There's others like Rasheer Fleming from St. Joseph's is like, he's the size of a center, but he's like a combo forward who only dunks and shoots threes. That's pretty modern NBA. That's exciting, right? Like if you're 6'8" with a 7'5" wingspan, shoot threes and dunk, you're going to make a lot of money in the NBA. So yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies are fortunate. Nick Clifford, another guy from Colorado State, but they're fortunate where a lot of the guys in their range make a ton of sense with the roster and as it continues to grow over the next few years.
With those guys, what's the most consistent trend of this type of player, this position? What's, in your opinion, the biggest need for the Grizzlies to fill via the draft? Like the type of player that they should be targeting if they do indeed keep that 16th pick?
Yeah, and I think today with like the way the first and second aprons work and the tax penalties, like you have to continue to replenish your pipeline of young players and young cheap rotation players. And I know that people get frustrated sometimes. They think doubling down on youth, whatever, like there you have to do that, right? You cannot just go pay 10 guys $25 million a year. That'd be great, but that's just not realistic. So I think the consistent thing with all those guys is their wings who can grow with Ja and Jaren, and even Zach Edey too. You know, I think that they did a fantastic job of hitting on a guy like Jalen Wells, right. But if you hit on a Jalen Wells level player at 16, it's a home run, you know? I mean, that obviously in hindsight makes the Wells pick in the 30s look ridiculous, but you hit on a guy like that again at 16, and you start to envision like what the Grizzlies have needed for so long in terms of these big wings, multiple wings that they can throw out there at other teams' best offensive players, but also space the floor, keep everything the way they want, you know, geometrically on the floor for the offense. Like that's the kind of guy that I would just continue to take swings on because you can never have enough of them.
I think you bring up a really good point, and that is to not necessarily be afraid of doubling down on youth, given the current CBA. It just has to be the right youth. I mean, we literally now have an example of the Oklahoma City Thunder. If there was one knock on that team going into the playoffs, it was they're too young. You have to be battle tested. There has to be more there before they're ultimately going to win a championship. And what happens? They win a championship. They're also poised financially to be in a really good position, not just next year, but in years to come. And even a year like next, where they could have up to 4 first-round picks. It feels unfair in the replenishment system, but that does feel of ubermost importance as we're watching the Celtics in real time be forced to essentially, I won't say blow it all up, but blow off a side of it in order to function, given how things work within the second luxury tax and just the luxury tax in general. So it's interesting because the Thunder really can operate as an example to teams of, if you get the right young players, that's the real like secret sauce now.
Yeah, 100%. Like cost-controlled young players are just so important today, right? And especially with a team like the Grizzlies, they've already had to pay Ja Morant. They are about to pay Jaren Jackson Jr., you would assume. And you just have to continue to hit on these young players because the financial penalties are just so harsh as you climb higher and higher in the tax levels. And yeah, you look at a team like, everyone is saying, well, OKC, they're going to have to re-sign all these guys and may have to blow it up. Maybe that's true, but they also have a war chest of assets where they can continue to go find these young players. And if they like someone in a draft, they can go up and get them. And frankly, I think like if you're sitting here with the Memphis Grizzlies today, they also now have a war chest of draft picks that they can use. They got a ton of picks from the Orlando Magic, and they control all their own picks moving forward. So like, who's to say that there's someone they really like that starts to slip a little bit? They're in a position to go up and get them. So they're in a good spot, I think, relative to some of the other teams in the West who are more expensive and older.
Yeah, and we've seen this front office be active in terms of going after guys that they really like. And yeah, in terms of other teams in the West, I mean, you even have a situation yesterday where the Nuggets owner, Josh Kroenke, out of nowhere brings up a hypothetical situation where if they were to have a player get injured, it could lead to them having to trade Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, what's the issue with that?
What do you mean?
The issue with what he said.
I think the bigger issue is that he also said they're not sure that Nikola Jokic is going to sign his extension, but that gets more buried in the
I just wouldn't put that out in the universe,
From a fan standpoint, it doesn't feel particularly
Listen, he's not a
inspiring.
fan. He's a general manager. He's got to have plans for everything.
But as a general manager, you also have to operate under a certain level of hopium for your fan base, and I don't think that going out there and in the middle of a press conference unexpectedly bringing up a hypothetical. It was unprovoked. It was not like someone asked, hey, in this scenario, what would happen to Nikola Jokic if one of your players went down? It was, hey, I just want to get out in front of this, of what might happen in this world where we're forced to trade Nikola Jokic.
But this happened it happened with Phil Jackson in New York when he was like, yeah, I'll trade Kristaps Porzingis right now.
Yeah.
As a general manager, you can't be too attached to these players, right? You got to be able to look around and say, okay, this is what we think this value is for this particular player, and this team is offering us way more than said value for a player. So that is a business, guys. Let's keep it moving, and you got to move on from dudes, right? Like I think that every general manager should have a plan just in case their megastar goes down injured, or just in case everything around said megastar breaks all the way down. You got to be ready and willing to move on from it. If you have a plan, you don't do something goofy like, all right, Luka's not listening, let's just ship him to LA for an all-NBA player in a first-round pick.
But like if Nico Harrison had said that into a microphone, everybody would have said, you're insane, and then perhaps the court of public opinion would have put you in a position where like you're unable. There's a reason why Nico Harrison never said out loud, hey, we're going to ship Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and nothing else before he did it, because everybody would have said, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah,
just like yesterday.
He didn't have a plan, right? Like that's
he had a plan. He executed his plan.
That's not a plan. You don't plan. If you planning on shipping Luka, you get way more than Anthony Davis in a first-round pick,
he didn't,
right?
Like he got a promise of Cooper Flag from the basketball gods.
Clearly.
From the
Speaking
gods,
of Cooper Flag, it's the obvious generational pick. Number one, very clear, unless, as CJ said, you never want to say 100% clarity, but it feels as close to 100% as you're going to get it going into an NBA draft. Outside of Cooper Flagg, and maybe he's not your answer to this question anyway, the guy you are most high on in this entire draft is who?
It's definitely Cooper Flagg. Like he's tier by himself.
You're not trying to be contrarian.
I am not that hipster. I am not trying to get
draft.
that many clicks or whatever, right? Like, no, it's Coop. If you want someone outside of him, I'm pretty boring. I'm kind of with the consensus here. I think Dylan Harper is the next best player. I think there's kind of a tier with a couple other guys there, but I would take him second. And there's a good track record of guys his size who get into the paint like he does, who finish at the rim the way he does. And then also, like, there is data that if your dad played in the NBA, you're probably going to outperform your draft stock. I know that seems weird, but there's a study that was done that said your dad playing in the NBA is more important than where you attend college in terms of how you succeed at the next level. So
NBA Nepo babies.
It works. I mean, I guess.
You're saying there's still a chance for Bronny James.
I mean, he's in the NBA.
He is LeBron James'
hey, look,
son.
He maybe has outperformed his draft stock. How many got picks in the 50s? Like,
it's not
just
wrong.
Play, So
that
I don't
is
know.
A crazy,
but
crazy
yeah,
stat to
I
think
love
on.
Dylan. Love Dylan. He's an awesome player. This is a fun draft. It's not like. I think that we maybe got a little over our skis in the preseason of like how good this draft is, and I think it's Coop and everybody else. But there's a lot of really good players in this draft too.
What would you do with Ace Bailey?
Oh my gosh. So I think that Ace has a lot of talent, and the problem with Ace is that the talent he has doesn't necessarily always jive with winning basketball, and like, if he's a guy, if you plug on YouTube and you just watch a highlight tape, you're thinking, oh my gosh, like, we're about to draft the next Kevin Durant. And then you watch a full Rutgers game, and you're like, okay, we got a ways to go before this guy's anywhere near Kevin Durant. And so I think like a median outcome of something like current Michael Porter Jr., of like this really talented, tall shot maker who kind of, needs some work on a lot of other aspects of the game. He's very young, so he's got a long ways that he can go. I think it's super unfortunate, like just kind of the way that the PR hit has taken this pre-draft cycle and not working out for teams. And it seems like he's getting some bad advice, and I genuinely I hate that for him. So I'm rooting for the guy. I have him 10th personally on my board, so like comfortably would take him in the top 10 and feel good about it. But I think where he is on like the mainstream mocks now is probably a better reflection of where he is versus like when he was the consensus number 2 or number 3 guy in this class.
There's also a second round that is tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And you are a great deep cut draft guy. Who are some of the guys that you think the Grizzlies should be targeting with those 2 second round picks?
Yeah, so one guy I really like, he's a guard out of West Virginia, Javon Small. A lot of people who I trust are very high on him. When I watched him, I thought he was really good. Really good shooter, really good defender, just kind of like your classic old senior guard that often pans out in the NBA at some level. Let's see, Janai Broom from Auburn, another very popular name. He's a little undersized, but like when you produce that highly and that level of competition in college, like there is a pretty solid, translation there of like he's going to be able to play in the NBA. And then I'll plug one last guy. I wrote about this guy. So for those who don't know, there's Bart Torvik is a tremendous website, and you can essentially play around with different stats in the NCAA, and it'll pop up similarities, guys who have hit these certain thresholds, whatever. And so I was playing around with Con Knippel's shooting because he is a nuclear shooter, one of the best shooters ever. And I came across a guy from Clemson named Chase Hunter, who is about a 6'3" point guard with a pretty solid wingspan. He has one of the best shooting profiles in this draft, and I haven't heard anyone talk about him really. He's worked out for a few teams, but it would not stun me if he turns out to be one of these guys who's an older senior guard, gets a little bit overlooked, and finds himself as like the 8th man on an NBA roster. So big Chase Hunter guy. And again, that's my hipster one. I'll be hipster there. No one else knew about Chase Hunter before I put everybody on Chase Hunter,
What's your most hipster pick of all time of the nobody knew about this guy and then they ended up getting drafted and had some semblance of an impact.
Oh.
Doesn't have to be nobody new, but lesser known.
I mean, here in Memphis, John Conchar.
I thought you were a Conchar
Yeah, I was
guy.
pretty in on Conchar, and
He's still here?
Yeah, he's on his second NBA contract and making a bunch of money, and
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. So yeah.
All right, Chase Hunter, the next.
That's the next hipster guy.
Conchar. Chip, thank you so much for taking the time. Look forward to see how it all pans out
Thanks,
for the
Jess.
Grizzlies tonight. You can go find Chip's big board, his draft analysis at Twitter or /X at Chip Williams Jr. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. DeAngelo Williams joins us on the other side.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
These are the Jordan 1, the crystals. These are the shoe that retails for $1,000. Oh, extra crystals. So if your crystals fall off, if your crystals fall off, actually these are the black crystals because they have. So the shoe has black crystals on there as well too. So you get an extra package of black crystals.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, that could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep. The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
They went. There's not a bowl game, but it is that conference championship game.
So you got all of that stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was there. What? Man, that's an iconic game.
You got
First of all,
We're back
do I
now,
got all
DeAngelo,
that
just so
stuff.
you know.
Yeah. So So in the NFL, how many conference championships did you get to? Was it just the one in Pittsburgh?
It was 2.
Okay.
Well, close to 2 because Detroit beat. The Broncos beat Carolina for the championship, and then they beat us right before, and then we lost to New England when they beat Atlanta 20. They came back from the 28-3.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So do you keep that stuff because it's like, oh, this is the furthest I've gotten this team sport? Gotcha.
Okay, I have a question. What did you wear on draft night? Because it's NBA draft day. So what did you wear on NFL draft night, and do you still have your suit?
Nah, nobody cares about that stuff. Yeah, okay. I didn't. Draft night was special for me because I watched the draft for so long. I was always a football fan. I always watched the NFL. I never ever imagined being a part of it. So the fact that I was like, yo, he about to say my name on like national TV. Like I've been watching this all my life, and for them to say my name. So he said my name. I shedded a couple tears, not because of like everything that was associated with the NFL. It was because I was a fan. Like I remember playing in my first preseason game in Miami, and I was looking around like, man, that's Zach Taylor. Whoa, like this is pretty cool, man. Like I was like going around taking pictures of the stadium and stuff, and like my coach was looking at me funny, and I'm like, where I'm at, you don't see stuff like this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. So I was taking it in my rookie year because I was like, man, I'm here. Like I remember playing in Green Bay for the first time, and I was like, whoa, I'm on the same field. And then I found out like it was for real heated, and that's why it was tore up and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, after I played on it, I was waiting on like people to ask me, so how was it? So I could tell them because I was making a mental checklist of like, oh man, that's cool right there. Or like I would have did that different right there. But you know, the fans were so nice in Green Bay. Like you just remember things like that. Because I was like, I can't believe it. And my favorite game ever though of all time was playing in Oakland. It was so that is my favorite game because before the game, Smitty was like, hey man, they throw batteries and like all this stuff at you. And like, I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you don't play with the black hole. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to play with the black hole.
So were you there for draft night? You were there and able to walk up on stage, or did you celebrate with just your family? You were at
home? I did not. So
okay.
I wanted to watch this is so stupid. I mean, it rang true now, but this was so stupid. I watched the draft by myself because I had a draft party going on, and I stayed at home by myself because if I ugly cried, I didn't want pictures or videos to surface of me ugly crying because that lived forever.
Did you ugly cry?
I did.
Yes, you did.
I did. I ugly cried because it was, in my mind, I was like, I'll never have to work again. That's a lie. I'm working right now. That is a lie I told myself in the moment to get through that moment because I have been working ever since my name has been called.
Before we get to the work, because you sent us a picture and I'm very confused by what's going on. Before we get there though, a couple more things about the draft, DeAngelo. Who called you and let you know? How'd you find out you got drafted?
Okay, so funny story. So we're going through, and like New England has like 19 or something in that area, and they're on the phone with me right before their pick, and they're trying to decide between me and Lawrence Maroney. And they were like, you a little guy. And like, they was like, so it's me, him, my agent. And he was like, we just think you just too little, you know, all these things. And I'm over here like trying to plead my case. Like draft, I'd love to go to New England. Who wouldn't love to go to New England? Tom Brady, like they gonna win some championships, right? So was it me or was it, I think it was Joseph Adai. Maybe it was Joseph Adai. Whoever was 24, like maybe it was Joseph Adai. I think it was Joseph Adai. And they were saying he was bigger and like I wasn't, and I was like, so they took him and I'm like, dang, man, I have no clue where we're going. And then John Fox called me and said, hey man, welcome to Carolina. And I go, oh, that's what's up, man. Thank you, dude. I was like, okay, all right. So where are y'all? Like, are y'all in North Carolina or y'all in South Carolina? And he was like, yeah. He said the Carolinas. It's two of them. I don't know which one y'all in. Yeah. So, you know, and here's what's crazy. When he said the Carolinas, I had to look it up because I was like, is that somewhere like up north, like in the down south? We
Everything's
know
up north.
Yeah, in the down, everything's up north. Like, yeah.
Okay,
North
so
Carolina
that was,
is in the South. What are we talking
No,
about?
I understand what DeAngelo's. As someone from the West Coast, like anything,
Yes.
I used to think anything south of South Carolina was the South, and North Carolina was kind of the starting point for me envisioning the way up north. I'm just saying, we all have different geographical setting points.
For me, if you held slaves, you're the South.
So Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia's
See,
absolutely
that's the one that
South.
always
Listen,
was weird to me. But yes.
I'm gonna tell you what I found out that
if it was
blew
part of
my
the
mind, though.
Confederacy.
Missouri,
I'm
South.
gonna tell you what blows my mind though about everything y'all just said. The country parts of certain areas have different country accents.
Oh, yeah.
They're not all the same.
No.
I used to think a country accent was a country accent. Like, hey, yeah, they're different countries, and I'm like, wait, hold up, what is that? And just like, oh, this is how they. No, that ain't how we talk. Where
Different
I'm at.
emphases on different syllables.
Real life example, Glorilla and Leggett. Right,
Yeah.
both very country, completely different accents.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine trying to understand them. And then if you throw in like a Creole speaking person,
oh yeah,
like it's over with.
Get a little French flair on it.
Louisiana, the eastern part of Texas, I got nothing for you when they get to talking. I just don't get it. Also, we don't think of it as country, but we should. Rural Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, like they get real country up there, and it's a completely different.
Rural
country.
Illinois.
Oh, it's atrocious. They tried to play in AAU. We would play those types of teams. They would try and talk trash. Be like, yo, shut up.
Honestly,
you are weird.
we
Why
have
do you sound that way?
Rural Colorado, like Grand Junction was like the country of Colorado, or Durango was the country of Colorado. Wait, DeAngelo, I have one more draft question before we get to your farm activities. You were drafted in 2006, right?
Yes.
2006?
I think it's 2006. Yeah.
What kind of
26
phone?
pick.
What kind of phone did you take that call on? Landline, cell phone, and if cell phone, do you remember what kind?
It's got to be the cordless landline phone.
That's what I'm thinking.
It was a cell
It
phone.
was a cell.
Flip.
Cell phone flip.
No,
You had a flip phone.
actually, it wasn't a cell phone flip. It was a BlackBerry. You know those ones.
You had a
that
BlackBerry?
roll? I mean,
Yes.
not a black. No. I'm sorry. Because
I never
I
had
switched
a BlackBerry. They're so cool.
I had a sidekick, the one with a screen flip up.
Yep.
I took the call on the sidekick. I had to cut. Because I was playing the snake game before they called. Because I was like, I was watching them and playing
Bring
the snake.
back
yeah.
the sidekick. I would love a side. Had a whole key. You had a whole keypad. You didn't have to do T9 Word. You could like actually type out things with your little keypad on the sidekick. Man, what a time.
I go back to those times. The baggy shorts with the oversized polo.
When we were men.
Oh, I'm doing a thing on like best and worst draft outfits of all time for the Chris Vernon show later today, and some of those suits, the baggy suits, were just
incredible baggy suits.
amazing fashion moments in time. All right, DeAngelo, what are you up to today? Because you sent us a picture.
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you what I did. So you know how when somebody come to you or you're looking for a certain service and you have a number in your head and you're like, oh man, I got a budget, but people exceed that budget. So
always,
I've been needing to do steps from my parking lot down to the road, right? And so I got a couple estimates, and all those estimates were thousands of dollars more than what I was comfortable paying. And I was like, you know what, damn it, I'm gonna do it myself. Look, I'm finna tell y'all something, guys. I come from one of the schools of when you start something, damn it, you gonna finish it. I tell my kids this all the time. The worst decision I ever made in my life is starting this damn project, because it's 101 degrees outside, and that heat don't give a damn what anybody's doing outside. It's gonna be hot. I had help the other day. He was cramping in both. Look, he was cramping in both. Liability, cramping in both of his feet. Like it was so bad. I spent more time caring for him than I was able to work by myself. I was like, dude, you should have just stayed at home. I could have just been out here by myself and got more work done.
No potassium tablets, no Gatorade,
no electrolytes,
no nothing for my man.
Look, man, I don't know your system and how you operate. I don't know what you need to get you through these hot summers. Some people need Gator Light. Some people need Gatorade. Some people need
salt.
Pedialyte, right? But we all need salt.
Yeah. But some people need more than others. That's my
Some
thing.
people drink pickle juice. I don't know what he drinks. So as a result,
rich in electrolytes. Yeah.
What you mean?
Refreshing.
Yeah, I don't like pickle juice either.
That's your problem. I'm finna tell you.
Pickles is
something.
nasty.
Please tell me.
Have you ever been a part of an activity, CJ? You can back me up on this. Have you ever been a part of an activity where you have trained for it and you've gotten yourself ready for this physical activity, and you start to cramp?
Yes.
And people just start handing you stuff, and you was like,
oh yeah, I take everything.
Everything doesn't matter.
During my half marathon, I ate this goo.
Yes.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Yes.
But they
Yes.
told me that it would help me get through the race, so I ate it.
Jessica, I'm finna tell you something.
Nasty.
I ate the most disgusting thing I ever ate in my life on a bike ride because I felt like I was dying. It helped me, but it's so gross. I'd never eat that shit again. Like to this day, it's burned into my mind. I'm only saying all this to say this. Don't say what you won't eat, because pickle juice, I don't drink pickle juice either. I don't at all.
But if you were out in the heat and that was the only option, you would drink pickle juice.
It could be more options, but if you tell me that option worked better than all
Will
the
make
other
you feel
options,
better. Yeah. I feel that.
yeah, you drinking that damn pickle juice.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the picture that you sent, DeAngelo.
Yes.
I see. Okay, I see where the stairs are being made. DeAngelo, are you driving the little claw thing?
Yeah, that's the excavator. Yeah,
you're driving. You can drive the excavator.
Yeah, I'm excavator, skid steer. I'm all that approved.
Are you in the excavator now?
No, I'm not in the
Okay.
excavator. I'm in the working Kubota with the dump truck in the back. Side by, well, it's farm equipment.
Okay, I have a question because you
I'm
said when
official,
you
man.
you said when you
I didn't know
got
you was big
drafted
time.
that you thought you'd never work again, and you've been working
Yes.
every day since, and you're on your
Yes.
farm right now, still working. But are you working by necessity or are you working by choice? Do you enjoy what you're doing out at the farm?
I'm working by necessity.
Okay.
I will tell you the absolute truth, and I can't be more honest with you than what I'm going to be with you right now. I am not working because I need to work. I am not working because I want to work. I'm working because I need to, only because I have been told by older people that once you stop working and you stop doing anything, you start dying.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to die.
You need a purpose.
Right. So I'm out here and I'm doing all this stuff. I lay in bed all the time and be like, God, why couldn't you make us to where we could do nothing and live forever? Because I would do nothing right now and be okay doing it. But I'm not ready to go yet. So I'm going to keep working and complaining and doing all the things that come with life.
Well, thanks for working and complaining with us on this fine Wednesday. I hope your stair building goes well.
It sucks too, because those railroad ties are like 150 pounds each. And each step is like 9 of them. And I'm on the 3rd step. So I'm going to let you do that math. And you got to handle
27.
each one of them.
My 9 multiplication table remains elite.
9 times 5.
35.
Great job.
No, it's not. No.
Shut up, DeAngelo. That's a great job.
No, that's
you
not
sound
right. Oh
like
my God.
Beetlejuice.
DeAngelo, be
Wait,
quiet.
yes, that was right.
Yes, it is. Thank you, D.
No,
We'll
wait.
talk to you next week.
What was that mean? What was that
45.
Why are we doing this?
Hold on. You've messed up my brain. Okay, wait. Bye,
Oh,
DeAngelo.
my
Go
God.
away.
You're an enabler, CJ.
9 times 1 is 9.
Great
9
job.
times 2 is 18.
Great job,
9
Jessica.
times 3 is 27.
Good job,
9 times
sweetie.
4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 35.
Correct. Let's go to break. Stop talking, Jacob.
Oh my God. Wow. That was. I need to go back to Kumon. I really need to go back to Kumon. Just take a break. That was worse than
Jacob,
Bennett trying to
you're
name the state
ruining
capitals.
this.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. The Indiana Fever got a win last night, but they also suffered a loss yesterday afternoon. Perhaps, reportedly, allegedly. We'll get into it on the other side. 9 times 3
Yeah, keep
is
going.
27.
You got it.
9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times...
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
We get to the main event. And you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 5 is 45. She said definitively. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 9
Oh, the look of thought
is 81.
on your face.
9 times 10 is 90.
That look is you
11
adding. You're not multiplying. You're just adding 9 trying to figure it out.
Let me get my real one. My 11s. Oh, my 11s. 11 times 1 is 11. 11 times 2, 22. 11 times 3 is 33. 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 5 is 55. 11 times 6 is 66.
Everybody knows
11 times
the
7
11s.
is 77. 11 times 8 is 88. 11 times 9 is 99.
Keep going.
11 times 10 is 110.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you do
11 times 11 is
10s.
121.
Okay.
11 times 12.
132.
132, yeah, of course.
All right.
Everyone knows that.
Okay.
My 12s are a little rocky at this point,
Oh,
so we'll
12s
just
are fine.
stop there.
Okay. We should have stopped at 9 times 5.
I should have stopped at math. You would think one day I would learn to just not do that.
On-show meeting. When are we throwing up this video?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
We should do it right now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it right
Okay.
now. All right. So CJ and I have begun another round of exploring different things that you can do in Memphis. And this is our first of the off season. So I hope you enjoy CJ's first ever Pilates class. Take a look. All right, we are back with another edition of Jess and CJ off-season field trips where we explore Memphis. And today we are at Evolve Pilates in Uptown. And this is CJ's first ever Pilates class. So CJ, can you tell me what Pilates is?
We're going to do a lot of stretching, right? We're going to stretch. We're going to do some poses like the downward dog.
It's yoga. It's yoga. But you're going to find out. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Then I have no clue what Pilates is. We're going to get after it, though. I'm excited. I can't wait to get out here and try some Pilates. Listen to this.
Pilates.
All right, well, hi, I'm Ashley, and welcome to Evolve Pilates. We are so happy to have you both. So we're gonna start by laying down on our backs. You're gonna take a big inhale at the bottom. On that exhale, you're gonna tuck curl and try to lift the glutes all the way up to form a high bridge. At the top, we're gonna take a big inhale again. And exhale all the way back down. You're activating that core all the way back up.
Again?
Yep.
Oh my Lord, this is not stretching.
Creating that neutral spine here. You got it.
Like a really mean sit-up.
Drag it all the way back out.
I'm going to die.
A lot of people don't know that Joseph Pilates is a guy, and he started Pilates during World War I to rehabilitate soldiers.
His name is Pilates?
Yeah. All right, this time I want you to walk up just a little bit further because you guys made that look so easy.
I hate Joseph Pilates. Taking a break.
I had something funny to say, but I'm fighting for my life right now.
I gotta be on a beach in 10 days.
Right, you're getting ready.
I don't have to be on the beach. I can sit on my couch. I meant to bring my doctor's note.
And then extend it all the way back out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, crouching tiger here.
Hidden dragon.
You know, girls always kill guys in Pilates.
Yes, they do. I have nothing to prove.
I'm CJ. I thought Pilates was just a little stretching.
How you guys feeling?
Terrible.
I feel like if I did Pilates every day, I could be the hottest person on earth.
Yeah, Pilates hottie. Yeah.
Pilates hottie.
Yeah.
If I did Pilates every day, you would need a new producer. I wouldn't make it.
Then we're gonna finish with the frog press, all right?
This what Kermit does? This is what drives Miss Piggy crazy.
This is the Rainbow Connection.
Oh.
You guys are doing so good.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? Something else.
You can remove one strap at a time, hang up those long loops.
Get that camera off my face. People don't need to see this. I have an image in these streets.
Well, yeah, it's been great having you. Great job. Thank you guys so much for stopping by Evolve.
CJ, what do you now think Pilates is?
Torture.
Torture is what CJ thinks of Pilates. Meanwhile, I went back to Evolve yesterday. Shout out to Evolve.
You hate yourself.
I love exercise classes. That's a me problem. And I say problem because they're expensive. But I can get really sucked into the cult of an exercise program. But they were great. They're so nice. It's a small
awesome.
class.
Incredible.
And they're right next to this place called Groovy Gratitude.
Love it.
Which is a smoothie shop, has some like little healthy bowl options, I think,
I've had a couple of their
juices.
sandwiches. Their grilled cheese
They're
sandwiches.
amazing. They're so nice. And they're right next door to each other. And yesterday, when I went to my Pilates class, I got a smoothie afterwards and I was like trotting back to my car. And I thought to myself, who do you think you are paying for a Pilates class and a smoothie back to back? I do not have Pilates money, but I certainly don't have Pilates and smoothie money. But I came back from LA and I was like, ooh, I'm so back. I took 2 Pilates classes in LA. I'm dedicated. Apparently it really makes your posture better. I feel like I'm becoming like a phone neck person, like this. So I'm trying when I'm on my phone to keep it up and I'm trying shoulders back to be a ballerina again. And
It's
I say
great.
again
It's
because
a
I was
great
clearly
workout.
a ballerina.
When?
When I was a young tot.
Okay.
I wore a tutu.
Like 3, 4.
I took ballet classes up until my freshman year of college. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Put respect on your
I
ballerina
took
game.
tap classes up until my senior year of college. And if anyone has
that's
an
why
adult
you
tap class.
Don't sit still.
Oh, it drives Chris insane.
Oh.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Anyway, if you're looking to try a Pilates
Great core
studio,
workout, great
totally
back
recommend.
workout. It was good.
Core, gonna have half an ab by the time I'm sitting on a beach on Friday. It's gonna be great.
Turn up.
All right, let's talk a little WNBA action from last night. Oh, Dwayne in the chat with an idea. GCM fitness classes where we can exercise along with. That sounds fun.
Where who can exercise along
Like the
with?
chat.
Oh, we're not doing that, no.
Our friends in the chat.
I'm not. I'm not doing that. Jessica will do it with you. Lang might, Devin might, Mike might. Yeah, let them do. I'm telling you now, I'm not doing that.
Would
No
you
way.
play tennis against a chat member?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll do
Same
that.
thing.
I'll do that.
Same difference.
Doubles. Your boy is way too fat for singles. I'm not running all over that damn court. Give me my little area, and I'll police that.
I don't disagree with that. Being on your own is a tough place to be on the tennis court. Big WNBA news yesterday. Before we get into the game action from last night, according to reports, DeWanna Bonner wants out of Indiana. She has now missed 5 straight games, including last night's, has not played since June 10th for personal reasons. And according to Annie Costabile, who is basically at this point the Woj Shams of the WNBA. She seems incredibly tapped in, and her reporting is usually pretty valid. According to her report for Front Office Sports yesterday, Bonner has no interest in returning to the Fever, and she would prefer to get traded to the Mercury or the Dream, or to end up on one of those teams via buyout. The Mercury is where her fiance, Alyssa Thomas, plays. But this is huge for the Fever because they gave Bonner a big old contract, close to a max contract in the WNBA, to come in and add experience, to add defense, to add scoring, and it just wasn't working out early. She got moved out of the starting lineup to the bench, and according to this Front Office Sports report, that was something that she expected to be a part of when she signed up for this, was to be a member of the Fever's starting 5. And I do think the biggest loss in all of this, if it turns out to be true and she does not play another game for the Indiana Fever, she was supposed to be their vet. Like, she leads the WNBA in all-time playoff experiences. She has 2 championships. She came into the league in 2009. I mean, Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston were babies. They were children at that time. And you put all of that, and it leads to, Aaliyah Boston talking about this is the vet they've always needed. Caitlin Clark calling her the most important, the strongest voice in the locker room. And now for that to turn into a position where it doesn't look likely that she is coming back, that's a tough loss for this Fever team in the middle of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And in addition to the vet leadership, she's a player who produces. She can put points on the board. She's a tremendous defender as well. And I didn't know moving her from the starting lineup. I'm curious to know how that was done. I hadn't seen anything about it. I don't know if the coach just made that decision. I would assume you got DeWanna Bonner on your team. You talked to her beforehand about that. But also just, we talked about it like game 3 or 4 of the season, where it's, hey, you've got her. Maybe she can alleviate some of the burden off of Caitlin Clark, right? You've got to find a way to use her in a way that is beneficial to her, and that can take some of the ball handling responsibility, some of the ISO one-on-one nature that Caitlin Clark plays with, ball dominant nature that Caitlin Clark plays with, that can take some of that off of her and allow you to play a bit more of a free-flowing style of basketball. And maybe, because they couldn't figure that out, DeWanna Bonner's like, yo, I don't want to play this style. I don't want to just stand over here in the corner and watch Caitlin Clark dribble and take a shot, probably make a shot, but take a shot that is somebody else wouldn't be allowed to take, right? And rightfully so, because Caitlin Clark can make those. Everybody can't make those. And so maybe it's a style of play thing where it is, hey, this style just isn't a fit for me. I hope more comes out, because I'm really curious to know. Because on paper it was, this is going to be great for everybody. This is good for everybody involved. And also, it does kind of suck. She spent so much time playing with AT, her fiance.
Yes.
This is the first season in 4 or 5 years that they aren't on the same team. So I think that might play a role in it also. But I look forward for more of it.
Kids with, I think, her previous relationship, but I think those children are very close to
Alyssa.
Mm-hmm. And Listen, the official reason that DeWanna Bonner has been out is personal reasons, and so I don't like to speculate. You
Right.
never know what's going on in somebody's life, right? So I see a lot of the sentiment of, like, good riddance, get rid of her if she doesn't want to play here. Like, you have no idea if there's something serious going on behind the scenes. It could be so much more than just petty
basketball.
problems, basketball problems, whatever. But there was, this report yesterday that she removed fever from her bio, but I'm unclear if she ever really had fever in her. I was trying to find somebody who had an actual screenshot of her previous bio that included the Indiana fever. Didn't find that. Somebody reported that the player banner was taken down in Gainbridge, but it was up at their last home game. So this is still something that is being worked through. I just don't know how they're able to trade that contract from a finance standpoint. And then if you end up just having to let her walk, that's a tough loss for the Fever too. But if they do let her walk, they could immediately turn around and sign a player who is going to play for them. Who's my girl? Oh, Ari?
Mm-hmm.
I think they need a big.
Okay.
You
would have to need a big if you're losing DeWanna.
I would love for them to go after one of the two players who have been so big for the Valkyries while so many other players are playing Eurobasket. Letitia, is it Amahir? I think Amahir is her last name. She's been awesome. Someone like that who had such a great tryout per se, kind of like Ari McDonald had a great tryout and she still hasn't found her place on a roster in this league. I just don't necessarily think the best use of the Fever's resources is to sign another guard, given that they would be losing DeWanna Bonner in that case.
Even with the recent struggles of Caitlin Clark.
Even with the recent struggles. She is in a slump. She is in a 3-game slump, if we are calling it that. The Fever did win last night in spite of Caitlin Clark only having 6 points, 9 assists, and 8 turnovers. And when you look at Caitlin Clark's shooting numbers over the last 3 games, she is 1 of 23. I did that math right. Oh my God. Now you have me so stressed out about my mathematics skills. 1 of 23 from 3 over her last 3 games. She has made just a single 3-pointer. Obviously, the 8 turnovers were big yesterday, too. However, I think it's encouraging to see the Fever beat a Storm team that had been playing very well. There is some inconsistency with the Storm team. However, you got a massive game from Aaliyah Boston, career-high 31 points. You had a huge game from Kelsey Mitchell with 26. And then Lexi Hull continues to prove that she is a massive piece of the score. She had her first career double-double last night. And even her comments about Caitlin Clark after the game saying, she's slumped, she'll get out of it, I think are very encouraging. But if the Fever can win a game where Caitlin Clark plays not very well, particularly on the scoring side of things, that is a good place for the Fever to be. That's what you have to learn how to do in basketball, period. Every team that has been reliant on a high-volume scorer, if they're able to win when that high-volume scorer is on a slump, that's best case scenario.
Yeah, best case scenario. But this team is only going to go as far as Caitlin Clark carries them, right? It won't be, and I love Aaliyah Boston, so maybe Aaliyah Boston can get them through some rounds of the playoff or get you a game in the playoffs. But this team is built on Caitlin Clark's production, particularly on the offensive end of the court. If she's doing that, that does not bode well for how far this team can go in this year's iteration of the W. And it feels like, just watching the game, there are no easy shots for Caitlin Clark now. In Iowa and last year in the W, she would get easy shots. She's tremendous at making tough shots. I don't want to take that away from her. But she's also, at least in years past, really good at getting easy looks at the rim. Easy looks getting downhill and finishing at the rim, or easy looks from 3 where they're not all logo threes. There are threes closer to the 3-point line and threes where no defender is around. And this year, I've watched a handful of those games, and it seems like if she's taking 13, 14 shots, 11, 12 of them are heavily contested, really tough shots. She's not getting the same caliber of look. And I'm curious to know why that is. That can't, because you're playing different teams. So it's not like everybody's an elite defensive team in the W. You should be getting or able to get easier looks than what the ones you're getting are. Against the Liberty, right? That a great moment, great game. But even the threes that she was making in that game, even the shots she was making in that game, they fell, but they were contested. The threes she made over Breanna Stewart. Like, that was contested.
Yes.
And that was just a great make by Caitlin Clark. It's a whole
Which
lot
she's
of
capable
those.
of doing.
She's capable, but
you're inevitably going
make
to
your
face.
job? Why make your job harder than what it has to be? They've got to find a way to get easier looks for Caitlin Clark. Now, I don't know if that means allowing Mitchell to facilitate more of the offense, or trying to play through Aaliyah Boston, or trying to, in moments with Caitlin Clark on the court, just being like, hey, Caitlin, don't shoot it. We'll work it around and let somebody else take a shot to soften up the defense for you later on in the game. I'm not sure what the fix to that is, but it is very clearly a problem that very clearly, obviously, needs a fixing. Because you can't have Caitlin Clark out here taking 24 tough shots in the playoffs and expect to get far. Like, that's just not going to work.
Not the best in the world. Three other games last night. Every game was an upset, which was an interesting night in the WNBA.
I caught the Sky game when I woke up this morning.
You did?
I caught the Sky game.
And?
If Cardoso is that, they're fine. Cardoso in the fourth quarter, I think ended up with like 12 points in the fourth quarter, and there was nothing that anybody on the Sparks could do.
Yeah.
And
the Sparks have also been disappointing.
She ends with the Sparks are significantly better than the Sky. Right? Like, everybody is significantly better than the Sky. So you're right, the Sparks have been disappointing. Who's not?
The Sun.
Everybody but maybe the Sun.
No, I think the Sun are the most disappointing. But I think your point stands. The other young, struggling teams have reasons for encouragement. The Suns just feel like or not Suns, the Sun.
The Sun. Yeah, because of Sun, Mercury, I now put S's where they shouldn't be and take S's off of things where they should be. But either way it goes, on that game, if Cardoso is that type of a player where she is playing like the biggest, baddest person on the court, I think she ended with like 28 points or something like that, 28.7 rebounds, a couple of block shots in that game. That frees everything else up. And they need more of that. I feel like she might be beginning to figure some things out. I don't want to jump too ahead for her growth and development, but the past couple of games, she's been beyond okay. She's been good. And if she can be that, the Sky are in a good place. We talked some Monday. It's like, I see the vision in Point Angel.
Right.
I see it now. And if they can figure that out, and if they can work through some of the issues that will pop up when you're taking Angel Reese, somebody who coming into college was one of the best perimeter players, one of the best wing players in the nation, and then got to college and was like, okay, she's down on the block now. But if you can take that, get that version of Angel, the wing Angel, mix in with this Angel who ended up with 12 defensive rebounds last night. I don't want you guys get weird talking about her offensive rebounds for some reason. Whatever.
She trademarked it.
She had 12. She had 12 defensive rebounds. She ended up with 17, but she had 12 defensive rebounds. Those aren't off her misses.
Right.
So if you're getting that from Angel plus a facilitator to go along with a dominant big in Cardoso, there's nobody in the league taller than Cardoso, right? There's some her height, but not taller. So if you get those two together, I see what the vision might be for the Sky.
I really see the vision with this Mystics team that beat the Lynx 68-64. Lynx still playing without Nafisa Collier as she deals with this back injury, but still, I mean, they forced Courtney Williams into 10 turnovers. The Mystics defense is legit. Holding that Lynx team under 70 points, both teams under 70 in that game, I thought was really impressive. Sonia Citron continues to be one of the most impressive rookies. You're always going to be fighting against Paige Beckers, who has been excellent, and the Wings got a win last night too, beating the Dream 68-55. But that duo of Sonia Citron and Kiki Irfan have been phenomenal and consistently really good in a place where you're looking at the Washington Mystics and they're a game below 500. And I would have expected to have them in a similar conversation to the Sky or the Wings, and they seem to be a step above those young teams. But anyway, more action in the WNBA to come. We have almost exhausted the time of this show. What do you want to talk about? Top 10 US Airlines or Mattel partnering with OpenAI to close this thing out?
Top 10 US Airlines, whatever.
Okay, you found this. Where did you find this?
I don't know. Throw the graphic up. I can't remember. I can't remember where I found this.
I think it's from the Points guy.
Okay, so why'd you ask me where I found it at?
Because I was curious what you were interested in with it.
I don't fly. You fly. I sent this for you.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Watching news one day last week. I think it was on either Wednesday or Thursday. When we were off Thursday, so it was Wednesday, and then you weren't here Friday for us to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's still here. So they did their best airlines, best U.S. airlines, top 10 U.S. airlines. It was all over the morning news places. So throw that back up there so I can see
as
it.
a Delta girly.
Okay.
I'm thrilled that Delta has been
I think for the
named
7th straight year.
Number one.
7th straight year.
Daughter of a Delta flight attendant.
Spirit.
Delta tattoo.
So the top 10, Delta, United, Southwest is 3rd. Alaska moves down 2 spots from last year to 4th. Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue, American
That's embarrassing
Airlines,
for American
Allegiant
Airlines.
Air, Spirit Airlines, and Frontier Airlines round out your top 10 U.S. airlines. What's embarrassing?
That American Airlines is 7th.
What's
I
embarrassing
feel like they're
about
the 3rd largest
Okay.
airline. And I don't know, that could just be by feel. I guess I don't know that factually. But it always felt like when you were booking flights, the 3 premier American airlines were American, Delta, and United.
Okay.
And then your budget airlines or more casual, like middle tier airlines were like Southwest. I love Alaska. Because when I used to live in the Pacific Northwest, I would take the Alaska flight from Tri-Cities to Seattle often, so that I wouldn't have to drive over a very scary snowy pass in the winter, and Alaska was top notch. I really enjoyed Southwest when I lived on that side of the country. I would imagine Southwest falls. People are still very mad about the changes they made with the bags, and now that you don't get a free checked bag on Southwest, because that was always a big bonus in terms of a perk that you got for flying. Like if you were choosing to fly Southwest, you were doing it, I feel, because you had lower fares and a free bag, and now you don't have that anymore. I don't think I've ever flown JetBlue.
And I don't think that you will ever get to fly JetBlue. I meant to do more
aren't
into
they
this. They've
merging?
banned. I think they've ended flights to every major U.S. city. And so I don't know if they're merging or what, but I think JetBlue is done so for now.
When I was a kid, I liked Frontier.
Okay.
But I haven't flown Frontier in years. But you used to have the little animal on the wing, and it was fun to know which animal. It was your Frontier buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes a good airline?
On time.
Okay.
Number one. I have a big flight connection on Friday. Knock on wood. Fingers crossed. Very nervous. If you have 3 hours built in for a layover, you should not have to be concerned, barring obviously things pop up and you want to be safe and whatever. But you should be able to feel pretty confident that you're gonna
make your connection.
But I'm not American. But I'd be nervous on any of them because that's how this works now. But on time services or perks that make it feel good to be a loyal member. So whether that be like the ability to be on the upgrade program list for Delta, if you reach certain tiers, anytime you get upgraded to Comfort Plus, not even getting upgraded to first class, but just getting upgraded to Comfort Plus, you get better snacks.
What?
Comfort Plus gets better snacks.
What?
Yes.
What
I had
snacks
these
they
little
get?
chocolate biscuit cookies.
Ooh.
They were so good. They have these organic gummy bears that I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
Delta's big on the sun chips, but then sometimes they'll have the roasted kettle chips, the potato chips. But then if you're in the back, you just get the snack mix.
Oh.
But if you're in Comfort Plus, see that's what I'm talking about. That's why Delta's number one. I just got upgraded to Comfort Plus. It felt so good. I was so excited about it. And you get a drink in Comfort Plus.
Okay.
For free.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my number one airline. I'm so happy that the points guy agrees. Hey, do you have the Chase Reserve?
No.
Okay.
The missus might have it.
There's something crazy going on with that.
What?
We could have talked about that in WTF. They're raising the fee aggressively. It's like $750 a year. The Chase Reserve has notoriously been the best travel card for points, and now you don't get as many points per dollar spent, and your annual fee goes up. I think I'm gonna have to go off of it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. When doing my,
People are mad.
I hate credit cards.
People are so mad.
I'm not finna pay you to spend money, right? So my card doesn't have a annual fee.
Oh.
So I made sure to try and find one without that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it. It's draft day. The Grind City Media Draft Show tonight at 7 o'clock right here on Grind City Media, presented by Southland Casino. I will be with you from 7 to 8:30. We will have all kinds of guests popping in. Mike Wallace will be there in Brooklyn for tonight's draft. Gary Parrish is going to join us from New York, where he's at with CBS. I think in my first hour, I've got Brevin Knight and Lang Whitaker joining me. Bennett Doyle will be behind the glass in the producer booth, and then Rob Fisher is going to take over the hosting duties for the second portion of the show. Chris Vernon is going to join. Pete Pranica is going to join. Devin Walker is going to join. John Roser is going to join. CJ Hurt, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back. We'll see who the Grizzlies take or how things go down. Bye.